Good morning. It's Thursday, I think. Is it Thursday?
I believe so.
Thursday, May 14th.
Yeah, actually.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, Tuesday, May 19th can't get here quickly enough.
Yeah.
It's been bonkers. But I'm Allison Sinclair. Amy Beth is not here. She dipped yesterday and said, I need a break from y'all hooligans. And so she is gone, and it's just me and JP. It shall be interesting. It's like mom is away and things might go awry, but we'll have fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun while it goes awry, at least.
And like I say, like life is hard enough on its own. So if you can make it fun, you should totally take the opportunity.
100%.
Today, we have John Wahl at 11:45. Going to be a quick interview, but he is in Birmingham, so he's going to swing by the studio. Curious to hear how he's feeling. Talk about bonkers. A lot of these races are weird. His being one. I'm pretty sure the last poll I saw was kind of a three-way tie, actually.
Really?
Well, things are I mean, I think Alan's still in the lead, but like it could be there's some like debate on Rick Pate. I think he's kind of moving up. John Wahl, but the biggest story is there's still a huge chunk of undecideds.
Yeah.
In that race, in the Attorney General's race, in the Senate race, it's just weird. And I think this is what happens when we actually have some really good candidates, multiple really good candidates running in these races.
Yeah.
A lot of people that have been around in the political world for a while and have a loyal following, some newcomers that, are just good candidates. So it's going to be weird to see how it unfolds. I cannot believe I'm going out of town on the 20th. Like when y'all go live, I'll be on an airplane and I will miss the whole recap.
Yep. I would say this is fun for me because I got into the like news talk area in January of 2024. So last election obviously was the presidential election, but this is like the first full campaign election season in Alabama and the Alabama world that I've been a part of and watched from beginning to end. So I'm kind of excited to see.
I really want to know, because for those of us that have been in this for a while, I kind of took a hiatus after I had 4 kids that I had to keep alive and fed and feel like at least they're loved. What are your takeaways? Is it what you thought it was? Is Alabama different than you thought, or maybe hear from other states? Like what are your observations?
I will say the more I'm in it and figuring it out, the more I am grossed out by a lot of aspects of it. But also, I don't know if that's unique to Alabama or if it's that way everywhere. But Alabama is such a it just seems so emotional and so different than other states. I think you described it this one time, and it makes a lot of sense. It's almost like it is a big family, but the families have beefs within the family, and some of those beefs get like really intense and really personal. But also, you may see them too at the same events. It just seems so much more interwoven and connected than other states. And like I said, it could be like that everywhere, but that's the one thing I've noticed the most is that and honestly, I've picked up on this. You kind of associate people with who those people associate with. And there's almost like teams statewide, top to bottom. And like, oh, this person, is for this guy and this guy and this guy. And then they're probably friends with this person, which also means they probably hate this person because this person knows this guy and is with this guy and this person. It's like there's teams. And so if you could just tell me who the candidates are like with or who their campaigns are, who I could probably tell you what they're about and who they're against and who they're for just based off of that. But that is just how it's almost like a soap opera. You can't jump in on like season 52 because you have a lot of catching up to do. And I feel like the last 2 years has been my like catching up. But this is the first beginning to end like primary, but Alabama election that's actually been meaningful that I've watched. But that's because with national politics, you can kind of jump in the middle and figure it out. But with state politics, oh, no. That something happened in season 13 that affects and then this happened in season 22, and now we're in season 54. So everything's it's really
I think Alabama, I mean, growing up in Tennessee and being involved in politics in Tennessee, it's similar, but it's nothing like Alabama. Alabama is its own beast.
Why is that though?
I think it's exactly what you were talking about. I think it's the pool of candidates and politicos is much smaller for some reason. And so there's lots of intermingling and frenemies and actual enemies and friends. And there is a lot of loyalty, I guess. That's a good thing. But then the loyalty can make you really do crazy things like you hate. And sometimes it's just interesting that I'm watching, it's like, especially on our side, because the Republicans do win in Alabama. I mean, it's very hard for a Democrat to win anywhere. Like we take out our own. And it's funny when you first get involved in politics, you're very idealistic. You're very naive on how it works. And you can always tell when somebody's coming in and they haven't been in the system for a while. I call it a system because it is. Everybody knows everybody. And everybody is somehow connected. It is true. But we start taking each other out. And I think that's really damaging.
Yeah.
Because even in all these races, whether you're looking at the Senate race, the Attorney General's race, the Lieutenant Governor's race, there are really good people, more than one really good person running in each of those races. And just because you're not voting for maybe one of the two or those other people, you know, they wouldn't be your first choice, doesn't mean they're a bad choice. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so it's really unfortunate and I hate watching it, but Alabama is different. And it's almost like when you run for federal office and you're in DC, you can kind of skirt.
Yeah. Get away
but
from
the closer you get, it's why local elections like school boards get so intense because you have to run into them at the ballpark and the grocery store and church. And that's kind of how all of Alabama feels.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, I'm getting more and more, and maybe this is the problem. It's so much more fun than the national sometimes because it is. Well, and maybe it's because we're in a primary right now and like it's next week, but being in on the drama that's like right here, and it's just so fun. And maybe that is a bad thing to get like hooked on because.
But you think it's fun?
Okay, well,
I'm exhausted.
I'm not as I'm still kind of on the sidelines and like watching it all and like have my popcorn. So I'm not as.
It's hard though because then you'll be careful. Well, I hope you have fun. Have fun as long as you can, because then you'll be really disappointed in people. Like people that you thought were one way will do something or say something, and you're just kind of like.
I've already had a couple of those where you really think somebody is a certain person and then they're not. But also, like, I'm glad I'm with people like you and Amy Beth, because there's sometimes I've said things and then y'all are just like, that's so cute. That's so cute.
Say it again.
Like,
oh, bless his heart. He'll figure it out.
But I am interested because there's a couple of races where I genuinely don't know who's going to win. The Attorney General being one of them. I don't know who's going to win that race. Senate race, I think is kind of going to a runoff. But Lieutenant Governor, maybe less though than the Attorney General. But like I see a poll that's different every day on that, and that one is one of the most negative in the state. So that I think that is the one I'm kind of looking forward to the most. Of who I genuinely have no idea who's going to win.
Can I please like join the show from the beach or something? Like it's going to be really hard for me to not hash this out because we've been in this together for a long time. So we're going to have to plan that.
Yeah, for sure. From the beach with a margarita and.
Yeah. No. Diet Coke. After bingo night, I'm done. And then do you know where I ended up last night?
Tuscaloosa.
Did I tell you?
Yeah.
Bingo Tuesday night, Tuscaloosa Wednesday night.
Where?
I am just a degenerate.
Where do y'all go eat in Tuscaloosa?
Well, what's funny is we were Last time we went to Moe's, that's where Connor met.
Oh, Moses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the girl that chased him down the street.
Yeah. That's a great option.
So this time I was like, it's election season. It's almost over. I'm really tired. Oh, wait, it was Pamela Casey that was talking about this yesterday. I deserve a steak or a nice meal. And so we were going to go to De Palma's.
I haven't been there. I know what it is.
Okay. We walk up. De Palma's will be closed May 11th through May 15th.
Oh,
just those days. Just those days. And it made me laugh. So we went across the street to Avenue Pub and had dinner with Connor. It was a lot of fun, but I just laughed. I'm like, I can't keep partying like this between, bingo and T-Town.
But next time, do y'all like Asian food?
I do. Are you going to say rock and roll sushi?
No. It's the place right next to Moe's on the strip. It's called Swen. Swen.
When?
The way we found it out was my freshman year, we had my roommate and I, Campbell, had the best English teacher. He was awesome. But one of the projects was literally one class. We would all tell him our favorite type of food, and he would give us each off the top of his brain a restaurant in Tuscaloosa to go. And a project was we had to go to the restaurant and do a review on the entire restaurant. You had to walk in on the decoration, the service, the music if it was playing, and then obviously the food itself. So then Campbell and I got Swen, and we went there, did our project, and that became our place, like in Tuscaloosa. It is so good, but it's literally right next to Moe's.
We'll do it next time.
It's amazing.
Next time. Even though it's hard for me to go to T-Town.
Titletown.
I need to talk about some breaking news. Unless everybody else knows about this except me. I need it to load. Divers doing a routine maintenance check at the Converse Reservoir Dam in Mobile, Alabama, discovered an underwater grenade type IED.
I didn't see this.
The FBI bomb squad had to be called to safely detonate it. The reservoir and dam are critical infrastructure, and this is being called an unprecedented threat. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security has been made aware of the situation. Is this...
Oh, yeah. Fox 10 News.
Like, are we being punked, or this is real?
It looks real.
Did they do a story on it?
Yeah. I'm reading Fox News 10. Let's see. The multi-agency effort included the Mobile County Sheriff's Office, FBI Bomb Squad, Mobile Police Department Explosive Ordnance Detail, the Aaliyah Bomb Squad, and the Daphne Search and Rescue Team. Divers surveying the dam for routine repair, like you said, found a grenade-type IED.
Was it live? Did they say? Or was it... I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. Somebody planted something.
Yeah. And I wonder how old it is.
I don't know. But how did we miss that? That seems kind of important.
Here, let's see. Well, you can't read on AL. Oh, yeah, you can. Here you go. Yeah, there's not a lot of... I think everybody got the same press release. There's not a lot of details other than they found an IED and it was an unprecedented threat.
That's weird.
They safely destroyed it, though, like you said.
Okay, so it was live then.
It could have not. I don't know.
Okay.
The only way to find out, though, is if it goes kaboom.
Well, what are they? Oh, wait. DC Drano is posting about it.
Really?
He said, this seems like it should be a bigger deal. Thank you, DC Drano. Allegedly, a bomb was found on critical dam infrastructure in Alabama. Leftist terrorism, foreign attack. We need answers. Well, that doesn't make you feel great.
Exhibit A, Alabama politics can get so dicey.
They're going to start taking out dams.
Taking each other down.
But what would that... Do you think it has to do with... Aren't they like dredging Mobile Bay? Like, aren't they trying to do some serious stuff in Mobile Bay?
Yeah.
Okay, somebody, if you're listening and you know things, message us, because I just think that's weird.
That is.
And I think it's weird that really none of the media was talking about it.
It was 16 hours ago.
In other news, someone died jumping off Chimney Rock in Lake Martin, and they just recovered the body.
What?
Yes. We go there all the time. Just don't do it. You'll get water in places you didn't even know you had. and you could die. And usually there's alcohol involved, and it's just not smart.
I've never been to Lake Martin. Is Chimney Rock like a big?
Google Chimney Rock. You don't even know what Chimney Rock is?
No.
I'm guessing they jumped off the high one, and if you hit the water funny, if you don't keep your legs together, it's not pretty.
I think Lake Martin's the main like big lake I've not been to. I'm seeing that seems pretty high up.
Yeah, there's like Chicken
Rock,
Chimney Rock.
Chicken Rock's about half the size.
It's actually about a third, and it's still high. But as summer ramps up, don't go to Chimney Rock. Just don't do it.
Or you can, never mind.
Or you can,
or it can be fun. But then that somebody just died on there. So
I just think, I mean, you can do it. And then you always have the debate of like, do you wear the life jacket or not? Because the life jacket can really help you. But then if you jump in and it hits funny, like it gets your neck, and then it's like, anywho.
Last time I did a big jump at the lake, I didn't burst my eardrum, but I came close. So I don't.
Because you went so far under?
Yeah. And I got really small ears. So they're easy to. That's the one.
You have little ears? You don't even have an earlobe.
No, I don't.
What are those?
They're attached.
What are those?
They're attached.
Wait, but seriously, you have little elf ears.
I know. I have really small ears.
Are you paranoid about that? Like,
No.
Are you insecure about?
No, I've never been.
That's just interesting.
Nobody's ever mentioned them before, but I do have small ears.
Okay. Well, my eyes are really close together. It's kind of weird. I have to buy kid glasses because the lenses like will come out to here. So I have to get
I've never
itty bitty. Yes, they're very close together.
I never noticed that.
Hey, y'all. Some say it's because of East Tennessee.
That makes sense.
But I don't know. I know we are going to do some yammering, but what's happening on the Twix?
Oh, that's a good question.
Anything trending? Because I don't think we have time to yammer and get to the montage.
No, we can.
So I think we should just Twix it for a minute.
Well, we can do montage on the other side. But we can Twix it for a couple minutes and then do some yammer.
And I forgot that I'm locked out of my iPad. Mom's not here to hook up her iPad, and I cannot remember. How do you reset the password?
It's a great question. I don't know.
I'll have to look that up. So I can't see it, but just tell me what's happening in the Twix. We'll get a little news, then we'll yammer, do some local news.
Vance and Oz suspend 800 fraudulent LA hospices, defer $1.3 billion to California. It's the top on the news section of X.
Okay. That's good news, right?
That is good news. Next headline, Rubio urges China to pressure Iran on Strait of Hormuz blockade. Teen pushes back on Raskin and Sharia law hearing.
What is that?
Do we want to swipe right?
Swipe right. Swiper.
Here, let's see.
Swiper. No.
Oh, wait.
You said teen pushes back?
Yes. Here, let me unmute the thing real quick.
Is there anybody on the panel who thinks that we need a special law addressing any particular religious population, whether it's the Muslim, the Christian, the Jewish, the Hindu, the Mormon, or what have you? Or are we just saying that everybody should be held to secular law in America? And I'm happy to open it up to anybody. Mr. Hunter Lopez.
Thank you, Congressman, for the question. I think that you keep referring to a secular law. I think it's important to point out, I believe it was 56 of the 57 Declaration of Independence signers were Bible-believing, faith church-attending Christians. I believe it was the first original 13 colonies that required a declaration of faith. So I'm not acknowledging that.
Oh, well, wait a second. Now you're traversing my territory now, Mr. Hunter Lopez. You brought it up. Are you aware that the Constitution of the United States does not establish a religion? It forbids the establishment of religion. Are you aware that it doesn't mention God?
So the Declaration of Independence mentions God 4 times. But what I was going to say...
Is the Declaration of Independence law?
So Declaration of Independence was declaring our independence from the tyranny of England.
Yeah.
But
the
what I was trying to finish is
governing
that I'm not, suggesting that we need to go back to taking, tests or saying that you have to acknowledge.
Wait, do you know that Thomas Jefferson was denounced?
Shut your pie hole.
Did you know? And he's wrong about all. But
you know,
you can't see it, but behind over the guy's shoulder in this video, there's a person in the audience with the sickest handlebar mustache I've ever seen in my life.
What was
It's a bit
this hearing?
distracting.
And who is that poor kid that is just getting?
I don't know the details. He's a 16-year-old
Bless his heart.
Texas high school student, Marco Hunter Lopez. Today's hearing on political Islam and Sharia law.
Raskin is so annoying.
What was we have certain unalienable rights endowed by our creator?
It's
But
a
did you know-
Declaration of Independence law.
Did you know? Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to interpret and take? What is the subliminal message in Marco Rubio dressing up as Maduro on his way to China?
Oh, that was so cool.
Because I know you were probably really fired up about that. That's your Halloween costume. But what do we think? What is that?
I'm still not convinced it's not AI, even though people say it wasn't AI. I just think he's trolling. He's being funny.
What?
It's fine. Find a picture of it, and then after this, we should yammer.
Oh, let's yammer.
Okay. Well, let me find Maduro.
But what does it mean? Is it like I'm about to be China's prisoner and I don't want to go on this trip?
No, I think
Is it we're coming after you? Is it we can do what we want when we want?
I think it's just being a baller.
He's really funny. And it makes me feel so much better because, I voted for him in the primary in 2016.
Mhm.
And then for so long, I felt like such a biscuit for doing that. And now I'm like, I saw something that nobody else did.
I think he is made to be a phenomenal Secretary of State. Like, I think that's what he was made to be. Even when I don't agree with everything, I do worry about him being a little bit too neoconish to be president. But I agree. I think he has found his niche right here.
He's got a funny sense of humor. So does
Yes.
JD Vance. And I think that's very important in this world. So shall we yammer?
Yammer.
All right. Is that what we're going with?
I'm gonna make it sound.
You're going to have to record it. Don't pass out. You're like hyperventilate. You breathe out and in when you whistle.
I mean, yeah,
That's
I
interesting.
can do both. Can you whistle?
Well, now I can't. Now I can't because I'm laughing. All right. This is, I'm going to have to do some research on this one because during COVID, we were so interested in who was the head of the Medical Association of the state of Alabama, better known as MASA. Vernon Barnett. Yellowhammer News is reporting Vernon Barnett, a well-known public servant to the people of Alabama, has been named the new executive director of the MASA. Barnett will officially step into the role on May 18th, succeeding Mark Jackson, who retired last month after leading the organization for 12 years. MASA is what Scott Harris oversees and is kind of the governing body for a lot of the decisions of public health. And it matters who is in that position. So I'm going to do some research and I will bring it back to the people on if Vernon Barnett is one of us or an absolute biscuit. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Well, mine is our favorite person that we cannot escape. She will not go away. Any guess on who she is?
We can't escape. She will not go away. Is she in Alabama?
Mm-hmm.
Katie Britt?
Mm-hmm. Wandalyn Gavan.
Oh, Wandalyn.
Yes.
Jeez, what has she done now?
This is a story from Yellowhammer by Yaffe. State Rep Wandalyn Gavan calls Justice Clarence Thomas a, quote, Uncle Tom over redistricting ruling. State Rep Wandalyn Gavan went on a vile rant against U.S. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas because of his recent vote in the redistricting case. This was on Facebook Live, by the way. Oh my gosh. She said, quote, this MFer this man,
What?
this Uncle Tom, this Uncle Tim, and I'm so pissed. And I said this today. This black man right here, I don't know what kind of black he is, Gavan said. I don't know what damn plantation this man came from. I don't know what slave ship he was on. I don't know what part of the slave ship he was on. I have never in my life met a black man who has never done any damn thing at all in the position that he has that would ever benefit black people. And this man is just as dark as I am. And then, quote, at the end of all this tirade, you are a freaking straw boss, a damn Uncle Tom for these people. I just don't get it.
It's almost like we planned that. I am speechless.
That was insane. She's losing her mind if she ever had it.
She is losing her mind, and it's so embarrassing. You can stop. You can save yourself. It's just getting worse. And I don't know. What's weird is that Montgomery seems to kind of be scared of little Wandalin.
Lil Wandalin.
She is kind of feisty. She's scrappy. I'll give her that. She looks good while she's doing it. Very fashionable. But dang, that's bad.
That's really bad.
We'll be back. Enjoyed our conversation with Catherine Robertson, who is a candidate for Attorney General of the state of Alabama.
Catherine began her public service in Washington as clerk and counsel to Senator Jeff Sessions on the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee.
She served as the vice president of the Alabama Policy Institute under Gary Palmer and has been the chief counsel in the Attorney General's office under Steve Marshall for the past 10 years.
In this interview, we discuss what makes her qualified to be Alabama's next Attorney General and specific issues that matter to Alabamians and fun questions so that you get to know Catherine, the individual.
We hope you enjoy our following conversation with her and get to know Catherine Robertson.
Welcome. We are here with Catherine Robertson, who is running for Attorney General of Alabama. Thank you for joining us today.
Really fun to be with y'all. Thanks for letting me wear a hat.
I love your hat.
Yeah.
I'm upset I don't have my hat on.
You're left out.
I'm totally left out today.
Hers is pretty cool, though. I can't read it because my eyes are going bad, but it's
Marshall County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Phil Sims gave me this hat. He's a good dude. I love to wear it.
I am guessing he endorsed you.
Yes.
Nice, nice. Mine's Rightside Media. You can have one too.
Yeah. Love it.
Blue or black? Take your pick.
Oh, yeah. Looks good.
So why don't we're going to get right to it. First question, pretty basic. What qualifies you to be Alabama's next Attorney General?
Well, I came into the office with Steve Marshall. I beat him by about a month, but we learned the job together. We learned the job over the course of the last 10 years, but really those first 2 or 3 years, getting your arms wrapped around the office. And in my mind, if you have an opportunity to elect someone that's had that kind of training and that kind of experience over a decade with everything we've seen and everything we've experienced, seems like a pretty good choice. So that's why I'm running. I just hated to see 20 years of experience of that office of executive leadership walk out the door at the same time, because I think continuity there is going to serve well all of our newly elected constitutional officers.
Right now in Alabama, what do you see as the biggest weaknesses in the criminal justice system?
Well, we've corrected a lot of them. I'll say that. I mean, when we got there in 2016, our legislature was in a posture of really being concerned more about prison overcrowding than kind of the back end outcomes of leniency. And so we made a variety of policy changes, working with our legislature. And so the criminal justice system right now is a lot tougher than it was. I think the weaknesses right now come down to really two things. One, I'm not sure our DA's offices have the resources they need to move cases quickly. And two, there are just parts of our state where the elected judges just don't serve the people as well as they should. And so the slowdowns, I would say, are the biggest weaknesses. Now, last year, I drafted a law that passed called the Speedy Trial Act, and we can get into that. But that is a tool that's going to be used and has been used to speed up violent crime cases. But it's just the slowdowns. We wait too long for cases to be tried, for justice to be served. And a lot of times those offenders are out on bond committing other crimes in the meantime. It's a real problem.
Are there activist judges? Do you see that frequently? judges in Alabama pushing their own agenda, or do you just think this is purely a manpower kind of office
I
flow?
think I think there are places in our state where the elected judges are Democrats and have a different philosophy, probably a more lenient philosophy. You know, and you can get into a really deep debate about whether we should have elected judges or not. I think ultimately I think elected judges is a good thing, but once they're there and they're really lenient and people get mad, it's really difficult to recruit candidates to those races, and it's really hard for them to beat incumbents, and so you get a little stuck. But I don't know that it's activism as much as just a mindset of, you know, I'm here to show grace or be lenient, and where you fall on that spectrum probably has a lot to do with your personal philosophy and ideology.
So, to the hat you're wearing and the illegal immigrants that are being gathered up in Marshall County, it's a place Alabamians probably know a lot about. That may be one of the first places people go, oh, that's in Marshall County. Yeah. What are the legal tools that Alabama has to respond to the consequences of illegal immigration?
Yeah. You know, states have been hamstrung in large part to do immigration enforcement themselves. You know, Alabama tried to pass a law to empower the state and empower law enforcement several years ago, and most of that got struck down. So the best tool we have now is partnerships. Sheriff Phil Sims, who you just mentioned, has a great partnership going with ICE. And so it's just a collaborative, cooperative relationship. I think the unique role that the AG's office plays is the national litigation that we take part in. I mean, of course, we're going to be facilitating law enforcement relationships. We even have a federal law enforcement liaison to make sure we're all staying on the same page. But, you know, the president has had a very difficult time getting his immigration plans and executive orders and all.
Welcome back. It's Allison Sinclair on the right side. Do that again. I need to wake up. It's just me and JP.
Did you not sleep good last night?
Lord help us. I was in T-Town all night.
All night?
Well, no, but like you go to T-Town and then you got to drive home, and it's like an hour and 15. And then, you know how it just takes you a minute to wind down?
Yeah.
But I couldn't wind down. I was thinking about, well, there was lots in my head. Lots going on right now. And so I just couldn't sleep last night, and T-Town will get the best of you. But I'm okay.
I know.
I'm here. A little bag under my eyes.
The magnetism of just the greatness and the titles and the trophies, it sucks the life out of you. I feel you.
Yeah, it kind of rubs it in your face.
Although I bet T-Town's a ghost town right now.
It was packed. It was really weird. I was
Really?
shocked. There were so many, but it was kind of cool. There were families out. Like I ran into somebody I knew from Birmingham, and she was in high school. She's actually my son's age, and she has a baby, and she's pregnant again. It's kind of crazy. Like, y'all are growing up.
I still see like people I went to high school with and friends getting married and having babies, and it makes me feel old.
Yeah, you're that because you're Connor's age.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got married at 23 and had Connor at 24, Jennings at 26, and then at 28 I had 3 kids.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And have y'all seen the statistics on when people are getting married now and how bad? Like the percentage of boys and girls married by age 30 has plummeted by like 60%, from 80% to maybe between 16 and 20%. That's insane.
I will say this though, if I was married now and had like a kid or something, I could not have done what I've done the last couple of years of moving from place to place, doing thing to thing, up, and then moving and doing, like.
Yeah. Well, and I think like the last few years, I mean, you're 21. That's a little young. Even though in the Bible they got married at like 14. Of course, they died at like 30. So they had to start early. But where we are is kind of dangerous territory. Not gonna lie. We need to normalize marriage again. Now, if you go to Sanford or you're in the South, man, those girls that are about to be seniors that are my daughter's age, they are panicking if they don't have a boyfriend right now, because they won't have their ring by spring, and then they'll feel like a failure. Where is God? God, where are you? Are you there, God? It's me.
I'm
It's
not.
going to be okay.
I'm not stressing. She'll come when she. Well, Allison and Beth will bring her when she comes.
It's like it's difficult because I'm going to be really honest. Why is it trying to take me? I just want to watch the.
You gotta type in your name. And
Am I
access
on
to your-
StreamYard?
Yeah. Well, no, you're not popping up
Okay.
on you're in the background, yeah, or in the backstage.
I'm clearly such a boomer. I am such a boomer. I can't get this to pull up.
What were you gonna say? I'm gonna be honest.
I'm going to be honest. There probably will never be anyone that's good enough for you or Connor or Jennings.
Why?
I just
Are we
think,
too picky?
I mean, I think it's just, how did I get up on the thing?
You're gonna have to turn down your volume.
Oh, wait. I just think it's a mom thing, you know, especially moms with their boys. Like nobody will ever be good enough for Jared for his girls.
Oh yeah.
Nobody will ever be good enough because I think it's because boys know boys. And you're like,
Yeah.
I'm on to you.
Yeah.
And girls know girls. And you're like, oh, huge red flag. I can see what this looks like in 20 years and it's not pretty. So we may never get you married off.
Nah, it'll happen eventually.
All right. Are we going to montage?
We are.
Since I'm locked out of my iPad, I have to watch it on this little tiny screen.
Here we go.
The CIA just raided Tulsi Gabbard's office. Agents hauled out dozens of boxes, files on the JFK assassination and MK Ultra. Can the CIA overrule the president?
No, the CIA cannot overrule the president. The CIA cannot even overrule the director of national intelligence.
应当做伙伴而不是对手，相互成就，共同繁荣，走出一条新时代大国正确相处之道。世界走到新的十字路口，中美两国能不能跨越所谓的修昔底德陷阱？
We've had a fantastic relationship. We've gotten along. When there were difficulties, we worked it out.
Because we know this unprecedented assault on black political representation, the likes of which we have not seen since the Jim Crow era, the ghost of the Confederacy has afflicted the United States Supreme Court majority and is invading and haunting the nation right now, and we take that seriously.
Yes, Thomas Massey and I had a personal relationship. That's not a secret, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. But things dramatically changed. The relationship ended, and I experienced conduct that I believe was inappropriate, intimidating, and designed to silence me.
They've spent $10 million against me. 95% of it, at least 95%, has come from the Israeli lobby.
By the way, I'm sorry. I couldn't find a voiceover translation for what Xi Jinping was saying. There was captions if you could read it. But he essentially said, and it's kind of a bombshell.
Okay, wait. I have a solution for that. Can you go back and read it?
Yes.
Because I would have to have my glasses, and it was really small on my phone. But yeah, I think it's funny.
应当做伙伴。
Okay.
I'm like, do y'all speak Chinese, Mandarin,
All right.
Cantonese? I don't even know what he speaks.
He said, we should be partners, not rivals. We should help each other succeed and prosper together and find the right way for major countries to get along with each other in the new era. The world has reached a new crossroads. Whether China and the United States can move beyond the so-called Thucydides trap, which, okay, Thucydides maybe is how you pronounce it, but I had to look up what that means. Essentially what that means is when two countries are rising together and growing in power together, they ultimately just go to war with each other eventually. So he essentially was saying, as we both grow together, we need to avoid this Thucydides trap of going to, like, when countries rise, they eventually go to war. So he was saying, whether you believe him or not, we shouldn't be enemies. We should prosper together. We should compete, but we shouldn't have to go to war with each other. Like, we should be on the same team.
And then Trump said,
And then Trump said that we've always gotten along, and any issues that we've had, we've always been able to resolve them. That was
What the hell county is going on? Like, I really genuinely, either this is the most evil genius move ever, or it's kind of like negotiating with Iran and we're just idiots.
I mean, China's in it for the long game, and that's how they've always been in their history, because when we've got a history as long as China has, that's how they've like they are in this for the hundreds of years to come. So I don't trust them. We shouldn't be adversarial from the sense of like poking the bear just to poke the bear and just going to war just to go to war. But we also can't be dumb. If I had to rank threats globally, number one would have to be China. So I think we have to constantly be on guard and constantly be aware and not let them sweet talk you into thinking one thing like Xi may have been doing. But also I think, we shouldn't be just provoking to provoke. But we have to be aware, like they are in it for the long haul and they are not our friend.
Okay. So, but does that mean we should be or should we be locking arms with them, moving forward together? Remember Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart on SNL?
Yes.
And they did it and they were like, together again. And they're like, that's the most unlikely pairing, but okay. Or is this keep your friends close and your enemies closer?
I think that's it. I think
it's like Alabama politics.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest blunders from the Biden administration and one of the biggest geopolitical blunders in the history of our nation was we made China and Russia one, pretty much. I mean, they'd always been friendly, but with the Ukrainian war, they essentially became 2 versus 1 of them versus the United States. So
did we do that? Hold on, let me stop you. Do you think we did that? Was that migration together going to naturally happen in the end? Or did we kind of force them into that place?
It may have, well, I don't think it was inevitable, but I think the Ukrainian war was kind of the last straw for them too. And that it really established the rise of BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and to establish eventually a one world or a global currency or a BRICS currency to get around the United States dollar to pretty much, whenever that happens, that's the death knell to the United States.
Yeah.
So I think it wasn't inevitable. I don't think China and Russia wanted to do that, but I think with the awful strategy of the Ukrainian war, it essentially has become 2 versus 1 from that sense, geopolitically and globally. So I think what Trump is trying to do is do his best to undo that. That doesn't necessarily mean we're locking arms, but if we can like, hey guys, let's at least all be 1-1-1 instead of 2 versus 1, and also he's trying to end the war in Iran and China is a central piece of that. So he may just be trying to do what he needs to do to get that done. But I think that's what this is.
Speaking of Alabama politics during the 2022, golly, seems like a lifetime ago, Senate race. I remember I was talking to someone who was on a different campaign for someone different. And they made the statement of, okay, look, y'all don't have to be for us, but you don't have to be against us.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
And it always stuck in my head. And I'm like, there is actually a difference. But there is nothing that is compatible between our governments, our people, our way of life, our cultures between the United States and China. Mm-hmm. And that part makes me nervous. Now, you want to go to Russia? People don't like Russia, but there are a lot of the same values and traditions in theory.
Christian.
Now, in execution, it's a little different. But yeah. And so that part makes me really nervous.
Yeah. And I mean, the 100% the goal of this trip. I mean, there's other caveats of bringing like, I've seen nothing but videos of Elon Musk just stimming over in China. Have you seen those videos? Like,
is he like doing forks and knives?
Almost. There's a video of the entire delegation because he brought like Tim Cook and a bunch of other like billionaires, with the administration that was going over there, and they all were on these stairs together about to take a picture or something, and they were just kind of waiting, and Elon gets his phone out and does a video and literally just does a 360 like, and everybody's
like a kid at Disney World.
Yes, it is. I have to find it. It's so funny.
That's a story that I kind of want to pull on real quickly. Like, have Trump and Elon really made up?
I think so. I mean, as much as they can. Here, you have to put your phone up.
Oh,
I
I already logged out.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
But I do want to see this. Hold
It's
on. Let
so
me
funny.
log back in.
Yeah, let me pull the video up.
He is really funny to watch. Definitely on the autism spectrum. Has he admitted that?
Oh yeah, I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if he's actually admitted it publicly, but I mean, are you watching it?
Hold on. It's telling me. Okay, I'm back.
Okay. here it
Okay,
is.
let's go.
Everybody's, patiently waiting.
Wait, where is he? He's like, I'm back in the club. I'm back in the club.
The person to his left looks like Elon. Elon, buddy.
Yeah, who is that? Okay, Tim Cook. I have a list of everybody that's there. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. But they brought the businessmen to try to.
Wait, I thought they couldn't have their phones.
No, they can. I mean, they make them over there, unfortunately.
When we were in China, we had to have like a VPN.
Oh, really?
We couldn't. Yes, it's very, very weird. Like you can't. You have to circumvent the government. Spent 2 weeks in China.
Really?
Yeah, when we were adopting our youngest, and we went all over China, and it was very, very interesting. It is a weird, weird world.
So, did you specifically, seek out to adopt from China, or did that just kind of how it worked out?
Well, it's funny. So I grew up. We've never talked about this, have we?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I grew up with a family in Knoxville that they had 2 biological boys, and then they had adopted a daughter from South Korea. And it was the coolest thing because their family, he was a regional director of Young Life, very involved in Young Life. And here was this little girl that was born in South Korea that grew up in this East Tennessee home, knew Jesus. And I just thought it was, even when I was in high school, I was like, this is really, really pretty cool. Like the life that God chose for her against all odds in really weird situations. But she was so meant to be there in that family. And so God kind of planted a seed then. But you never know, I'm in high school. You don't know who you're going to marry. And adoption is not something that one person can push, especially when it's international adoption. And our kids are very brown. They look very different than us. And so when Jared and I got married, he knew that was kind of my heart, that I wanted to adopt, but I didn't know from where. I kind of didn't want to adopt from China because everybody adopted from China. And I had grown up going down to Mexico and loved the culture. Mexico didn't have a great adoption program, but Guatemala did. So it took we had Connor, we had Jennings. And then after we had Jennings, I was like, okay, I think I'm done birthing babies. I just didn't love being pregnant. I had 5 pregnancies, but I didn't love it. And it's like God started really working in Jared's heart. And so he was like, okay, let's do this. So we went to Guatemala, adopted Jeb. And I will never forget, it was Adoption Sunday. And we were leaving church. And I had Jeb on my hip. And I literally passed someone, and my sense of humor. Back then, the adoption thing was really kind of the hot thing in Christianity, which there were a lot of people that adopted that never should have. And that's a whole other discussion. But I remember passing a friend who hadn't adopted, and just tongue in cheek, I was like, I got my orphan, I got my baby, and I don't have to feel guilty, but you do. Because I was just kidding. And I go and get in the car, and I open the car door, and Jared goes, what do you think about adopting again? And I was like, oh. I said, well, I'm going to need a nanny and a cook. And I was just kidding. And like a year and a half later, we had Collins from China. And so it was kind of God's sense of humor.
That's funny.
Because I was an only child too. So this multiple kid thing, I I about said, luckily, my parents were divorced. That sounds weird. Let me go back. My parents were divorced. So I kind of grew up. My mom was a single mom, had to work several jobs. So, like, after school, I would go to families' houses and kind of see how families operated that had multiple children. So I kind of knew, but God is so funny.
Yeah, he is.
And like just giving me 4 kids to keep alive, which is funny considering where we are, because apparently I run lots of organizations and lots
Yeah.
of things around the state. But the funny part is literally like we're going to the lake this weekend, and really all I'm concerned about is, okay, my grocery list, and am I gonna have enough food to feed everybody, and all these things people are saying of like, I don't have time to do that. I don't have time to be that puppet mastery. But we did. When we adopted Collins, we had to go spend 2 weeks over in China. You have to do a ton of paperwork. I mean, imagine dealing with not only the US government and clearance through Homeland Security and all the background checks and all that. Then you have to deal with going through clearance of the Chinese government. And that was a whole thing. Their way of life is so different. Their culture, their values, everything is antithetical to American values. We lived it for 2 weeks, and I will be happy. Like, if Collins wants to go back, we'll take her back. She has no interest. I have no interest in ever going back. So I'm okay on a diplomatic, like, I don't really want to go to war with China, but please, let's don't start thinking
We're buddy-buddy.
We're buddy-buddy.
I will say, I don't know if you saw the the entrance of like Trump and Xi when Trump arrived, and they had like a big, and all the kids were in like
the
primarily
flags
girls,
and
but like they were like robotic. And you see these videos from like North Korea when Kim Jong-un comes out and everybody's like doing the same. It's scary. And of course, Trump complimented, like he thought that was cool. But I'm not like, I actually thought of Collins when I saw that video, because I saw these Chinese girls, and I think like they're just kind of being brainwashed into being robots.
Mhm.
And I think of the contrast of like, you know, your daughter who is living in America and is living a much different life. If she had, like, she could have been like one of those and would be complete, like a different person. It's like God saved her from that situation almost, which is why I was asking about that, because it is crazy to think about the contrast of the two cultures.
Well, and they don't value, especially girls. They don't value girls. They had, it probably still happens, but they had dying rooms for a lot of these girls, because you can only have one child. Now there's some leniency to that. So if you had a girl, they literally would take the baby and put them in a room and just let them die. Now Collins was different. I don't know. I don't think she would care. She was found in a box on a sidewalk at probably 10. They don't really know how old she was, 10, 12 days old. Because it's illegal to put your child up for adoption, but it's illegal to have more than one child. So think about that.
You danged if you do.
Like, the authorities will come get you if you try and give your child, find another family for your child. But the authorities will come find you and fine you if you have more than one child. So what are you supposed to do? So these girls and kids are in really dangerous situations. And she was taken to an orphanage. Like, we went to the orphanage, literal dirt floors. She slept on the floor on a mat, like a rollout mat. And so the value of life in communist countries is about this much. It's
Like,
how much can you produce?
She could have been in China, and now she's now she's in the kitchen of the Sinclairs while I'm drying off my phone after dropping it in the pool and being like, JP, do you ever get do you ever get food for you and your family eats it without telling you? Does that ever happen to you?
Her biggest issue, she has her own shelf in the pantry, and we cannot touch her food. And and so it's like her biggest issue is, she actually went and bought her own box of Thin Mints. They're under lock and key. Anyway, yeah, she probably wouldn't even have food over in China.
Yeah, I just find that funny. It's like,
Yeah, she is living the life. And she says, y'all. It's funny.
we got about 10 seconds for the break. by the way.
Shoot. Okay, so what are we going to do? We have more.
Can we talk about, this is right up your alley. CIA raiding Tulsi Gabbard's office for JFK. We may made the tinfoil hats, the JFK and MK Ultra files.
Yes.
And then we got hot flash news at the end of the segment. John Wall.
And then John Wall.
Yep. Oh,
we're going to make it, JP.
We are. We got some other bits of news statewide that we could probably coalitions winning investigations into.
Oh, we have to talk about that. That's interesting. Okay, y'all, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Into action because the blue states come rushing into court. And so one of the most important things we've done is to back him up and to say the states are harmed when the federal government doesn't do X, Y, and Z appropriately. And that's why we support the president. He has every right to do this, whether it was the travel ban from a few years back or the Remain in Mexico policy or the parole for immigrants. We have supported the Trump administration or fought the Biden administration in all of those spaces, which is something only the AG's office can do.
What are the non-negotiables for election integrity in Alabama, and as far as what the Attorney General can control?
Yeah. We obviously support all legislation that strengthens our elections. When we are inevitably sued, we defend those laws, to the furthest extent we can, and we've been very successful. When it comes to election fraud that takes place now, our office hasn't been referred, voluminous cases of election fraud, but there are places where you start looking at the number of people who voted, the number of absentee votes, and then the population there, and you kind of start to wonder. And so we've got tools to deal with voter fraud. It is a crime in Alabama, and, we investigate anything that's forwarded to us.
So talking about elections, what safeguards do you see that need to be implemented or reinforced when it comes to elections?
Yeah, I think my view on kind of the safety and security of our elections is that we do it pretty well. But I do think that Joe Lovern has a bill this session to deal with election audits and that kind of thing. I think you can always be improving. You can never be too careful. Thankfully, again, there are only a few hot spots in our state. Some of them are in the Black Belt where the numbers just don't seem right. But, the non-negotiables are, we don't do ballot harvesting. That's illegal here. We have voter ID. That's a total non-negotiable. And we have clean voter rolls, which I think we've made a big effort to do. The federal government sued us under Biden when Secretary of State tried to clean up our voter rolls. We fought that. So there are limitations on, how you accomplish these things. But I think it's something you've always got to be striving to improve.
What do you think the Attorney General's role is in ensuring that our state government itself, the agencies and departments, are serving the people well, and how would you approach that part of the job?
That's a really interesting question because I think when you're out talking about the role of the AG's office, they either know us as the crime fighters or the, Trump supporting, state sovereignty fighters. Both of those things are true. But there's this big middle section of what we do in the AG's office that never makes any headlines, but that I believe, as a former state think tank girl, really is an important role to improving our state government. We represent every state agency and every department and every regulatory board. And that gives you access to information where you start to see, what are we doing over here? What are the trends over here? Why are you getting sued all the time? Why are you making life hard on these people? And it is a little bit of a stick. We don't run the agencies. We don't direct the cabinet members, but the role we play in representing these departments can sometimes expose, bad things that need to be corrected or things that just aren't efficient or aren't aligned with Alabama values. And so that's a role that I have, taken on personally. All of the agency councils report through me. And so we try to have a really good system to make sure that we're doing our part to keep our government honest.
What does that look like if the reports come to you and there's trouble? Walk us through, when would somebody come to you, and then what steps happen from there?
Yeah, so any legal document that's filed in court on behalf of the state of Alabama has Steve Marshall's name on it. But those people aren't all under our roof. They're housed in different agencies. And so obviously we want it to be a collaborative relationship. We try to all, work together and work on the same team. And when I see filings or complaints or suggestions to hire outside counsel, when those things come across my desk, my first reaction is not to be hostile towards it. But sometimes you start seeing trends that you don't like, whether it's spending too much money, whether it's taking positions that really don't seem that conservative or aligned with Alabama values, or maybe not taking seriously enough things that the legislature has put in place. And so, starts with a phone call, but we do have tools. We can remove attorneys from cases. We can superintend cases. If an agency files something and we didn't see it, we can go in and say, don't listen to them, listen to us. And it's a really, really important tool that we have that's really little known, but I think we do a lot of good in that space.
I had no idea. I know we talked about it a little bit on a previous interview, but that's fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, we had an issue a couple years ago. There was a regulatory board that it was the pharmacy board, regulated pharmacists. They've since had a change in leadership, so no shade on them, but they had filed a complaint against a particular pharmacy and a particular pharmacist. And when I looked at it, I was like, that's not right. I mean, that's real life. That's your livelihood. And so we went in and dismissed the complaint against the guy. It's an unusual role for the AG's office to play. The other interesting thing is that the AG by law can't really ever have a conflict, meaning conflicts don't exist. So there have been times where we've sued a state agency, even though the agency would normally be our client, just to try to get them into compliance with what we thought the law would be. We've done that on 2 occasions. Actually, I've actually taken a stand against a state agency before. It's really unusual.
Welcome back. I'm just a mess. Like, we are such rookies, JP. When Amy Beth's gone, it just doesn't go well. We missed the word of the day. I am spilling tea everywhere. My glasses are falling off. All right.
Oh, I gotta go. Okay.
Let's see. You want to go first? You want to do Gen Z?
Yeah, we can do Gen Z word of the day. Yeah, don't do Merriam-Webster's word of the day because it was really lame and we would not have gotten it. So pick like dictionary.com.
Yeah, that's what I got.
All right. Gen Z word of the day. Something that is blank is average or even below average or quality. Example, quote, honestly, the options at the buffet were pretty blank. Was expecting more for the price we paid.
I know this one. Mid?
Yes.
Y'all, no way.
Mid.
Okay, which means basically average, like just kind of maybe below average.
Honestly, mid for me has just been replaced with bad.
Oh, so mid. Okay.
I mean,
that's worse than I thought.
I mean, yeah, the meaning is like mid, like that's just not good. Blah. But
so it's like you're like you'd eat it, but you're like, and I don't mean eat it or like cooking. See, it's also confusing.
I for me to say something's mid, it's got to be like borderline bad. Like if I'm gonna because if it's like, oh, it's okay, but if I'm like, this is mid, I essentially am just like,
okay, when you say it like that,
this is mid. Yeah,
kind of like people do on the socials. All depends on how you say it.
Yeah, this is mid, brother. This is mid.
Yeah. I also went to the grocery store last night. Allison went to the grocery store last night.
And the grocery store is owned by this person who knows this person. And by the way, she bought from the grocery store this company who's owned by this person.
Yeah. Allison drove in her car this morning. She went down the road.
That's a funny way to put it. Like, Allison drove to work this morning. Allison drove to work this morning.
Dun, dun, dun.
Just saying.
It's very effective, actually.
And she drove past the app.
Okay. Are you ready for this one?
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of the way confusing. It means in truth, in fact, or indeed. This is a good word.
Would I know this word?
No.
Okay.
You would not.
Use it in a sentence. Okay, well, blank it out, but use it in a sentence.
I don't even know how to use it.
Is there an example below it?
I don't like this website. Hold on. I see. We need abs back. It forsooth.
Forsooth? That was the word?
Have you ever heard that word?
No, I've never heard of that word.
In truth. In
Oh my gosh, Brad
fact.
got it. Brad got it. Of course he did.
I bet Brad uses that word like 10 times a day. I don't even know. Can you ask him, Brad, can you text in how to use that in a sentence?
Use it in a sentence, please.
Like low key, forsooth, I'm hungry.
High key, no cap, forsooth.
Wait, for real, indeed, I am hungry. That's what we just said.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
Brad, come on, come through. All right, forsooth.
Forsooth.
In truth, in fact, indeed. Abs would like that because it's kind of British.
Forsooth. I can't do a British.
You can't. You're really good at the redneck,
I need to work on it.
at the Southern, but you can't do the British. Okay. We need to talk about the CIA invading the what is she?
DNI.
DNI head's office. What? Why would a governmental agency invade and take the head of another governmental agency's boxes of stuff related to JFK's killing and MK Ultra, which people are probably very familiar with JFK? And should we play that clip?
Oh my gosh.
Could be foreshadowing. Anyway, but what is MK Ultra? Because a lot of people, I've heard it. It's kind of like the Mockingbird, whatever, Project Bluebeam. It all sounds crazy.
Except MK Ultra, the CIA themselves have actually
But
not
like
denied
years
it.
ago, when I first started hearing about it, I'm like, this is nuts. There's no way they ran experiments on people and mind control and hypnotism.
Yeah. So MK Ultra. Here, let me pull up a specific definition from Wikipedia, of all places. MK Ultra was an illegal human experimentation program designed and undertaken by the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency to develop procedures and identify drugs that could be used in altering human behavior. So there's been some stories, even where like the CIA was embedded in like brothels or strip clubs or whatever, and would have people give acid like to people at the strip club, at the brothels, and then they would go into rooms and those rooms would have cameras, and they'd watch, how they react to it, and things like
How
that.
they react to what?
Acid.
But why can't you just do that at the grocery store? Why you got to go to a brothel?
Well, because it's a bit easier to have somebody slip to roofie somebody at a brothel or a strip club or something with acid.
Is that why everybody gets roofied in Tuscaloosa?
Maybe.
Kidding.
Yeah, but they for those who don't know, they essentially just drug people without their knowledge and watched what it did to them. That was the MK Ultra program.
But then can't they like flip a switch and tell these MK Ultra people to go do things?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, well,
like go assassinate people?
well, that's the other caveat of it is, if they have these people that they have in the MK Ultra program, and they can put them in a vulnerable state or drug them up and can push them in the direction to maybe go do assassinations or some, things like that. That is that's the belief. If the CIA wants to raise up some assassins or raise up some people to do crazy things for them, then yeah, you probably drug them at a really young age or give them things they don't even know they're being drugged with, make them go crazy.
Sounds wonderful. So what happened? What happened was
So there's some. It's so weird. So here, there's some clarification on what happened. So Tulsi Gabbard's office actually is pushing back on reports of a CIA raid on the office, because Anna Paulina Luna, one of the representatives, was the one.
Right. So this came out in a testimony, and a testimony. What do you call him? A testifier or
A testifyee.
a testifyee?
Sounds like we're Chinese.
Oh,
Testifyee.
saw. He said that this happened, and then Anna Paulina Luna came out and said it did as well.
Yeah, and Jesse Waters reported it, and that the CIA had raided the office. Tulsi
Is she
Gabbard's-
like, nah, they just had to come pick up some things. Like I told him, swing by, guys. I won't be there, but just going in and, hey, these boxes are in the corner.
Yeah, she's claiming that it was not a raid of the office. And here I'm trying to find a. So this is Anna Paulina's tweet. She just put up like an hour ago saying, I'm noticing a few large accounts stating falsely that I claim there was a raid on Tulsi Gabbard's office by the CIA. This is completely false. There is no clip or statement that exists. Why is there an orchestrated push for this narrative? Not one account can post a clip of me saying, okay. It says, when Congress is notified on conflicting narratives from different agencies, it is our job to follow through to ensure documents are preserved and not destroyed. So I'm trying to find out what actually happened, but yeah, the Tulsi Gabbard's office came out and said, so a CIA whistleblower, the testifiee, claimed the agency took 40 boxes of JFK and MK Ultra files that Tulsi Gabbard was reviewing for declassification. The whistleblower also alleges the CIA, quote, illegally monitored the computer and phone usage of Gabbard's investigators during the probe into the COVID-19 origins cover-up. So that's where the story originated.
So what's true? We may never know.
The bottom line is, I think something did happen. The question is if it was a raid or not. It says a spokesperson for the DNI office has denied claims that the CIA raided her office, taking dozens of boxes. After Anna Paulina Luna allegedly said that. But I'm not seeing. She says she later. I'm not seeing what actually happened though.
Is this kind of like Scott Beeson used to always tell us? He's like, it's so funny. Pay attention to the words, because he was like, somebody will come in and say, you were spying on me. I was not spying on you. Why are you accusing me of spying? I was surveilling. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, it wasn't a raid. We just went while you weren't there, and we opened the door and had to kind of break it a little bit, and we took some boxes.
That's true. Well, Ian from Hartsville texted in and said the Trump administration says the DNI visit happened last fall and was not a raid officially.
You have to have a battering ram for it to be a raid officially.
So, but that is
okay. So why come out now? Well,
the testifiee.
The testifiee.
The testifiee. Yes, I guess
don't know.
the testifiee said that the CIA came and took all these JFK and MK Ultra documents that Tulsi Gabbard was planning on releasing.
So where did they go?
And maybe Anna Paulina Luna was in the committee that, found out about this, and then it kind of broke everywhere.
Where are the files?
Where are the files?
Why couldn't she keep them anyway?
I don't know. She was planning on declassifying them, allegedly. Which is funny. Apparently, there's thousands of JFK files that still have not come out when those were all supposed to be let out.
Epstein files, JFK files, UFO files.
But
files,
the
files.
UFO one is all a lie, as we now know.
It's all a lie. Yeah.
Do we want to talk about this investigation or a coalition calling for an investigation, or is that going to be part of Hot Flash News?
It's not part of Hot Flash News. I think we need to talk about it because it's interesting, and I just lost it. I had it pulled up. So they put out a press release yesterday. I'm going to get my glasses. Coalition calls for investigation into gambling-linked campaign finance concerns in Alabama. A coalition of Alabama organizations is calling for immediate action and the greater public scrutiny regarding serious campaign finance concerns tied to gambling interests and political action committees operating in Alabama. AKA, remember the Postnet, the Postnet Chelsea Corners post office box that was shut down, they're trying to hide themselves. On May 5th, 2026, 9 Alabama organizations sent a formal coalition letter to Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall and Secretary of State Wes Allen requesting a review and investigation into widely reported allegations involving gambling-related money flowing through political action committees and possible violations of Alabama campaign finance laws. That's the key. The coalition requested a response within 10 days. To date, coalition members state they have not received a response outlining whether investigations or enforcement actions have been initiated. The coalition emphasizes that its purpose is not to attack public officials personally, but to rather raise public awareness about the growing influence of gambling money in Alabama politics and the urgent need for transparency and accountability. Coalition members stated that there have been numerous publicly reported allegations involving undisclosed expenditures, complex PAC funding structures, and alleged failures to comply with Alabama reporting laws. Since May 5th, the coalition letter was delivered. Additional public calls for investigation have emerged. This coalition, so they are calling upon the Attorney General's office and Secretary of State Wes Allen to immediately review the publicly reported allegations, determine whether violations of Alabama law have occurred, and when appropriate, open investigations where warranted. The Alabama Business Alliance, Alabama Policy Institute, ALCAP, Citizens for a Better Alabama, Christian Coalition of Alabama, Concerned Women of America, Eagle Forum of Alabama, John Idesmo, and Southeast Law Institute. I'm guessing this all goes back to Mo Brooks and the Alabama Conservative Fund.
Or the American Conservative.
I mean, the American Conservative Fund that has spent allegedly, well, we could go look it up, $26 million plus in Alabama primaries so far on behalf of certain candidates. Now, several of those candidates have come out and said, we don't know about this PAC. We aren't associated with them. And I don't even like the way they laid out the flyer. That actually can be true because PACs and campaigns, in theory, cannot coordinate. And a PAC can choose to endorse or attack any campaign or candidate that they want to. But I think the issue is not even that it's gambling money, which is a concern because gambling money seems to have no end to the faucet. But is that everything happening in the structure of the gambling PAC is very, very shady. The allegations are that they haven't filed correctly and with the Secretary of State's office, FEC filings. I guess because they would have to do some, no, I don't know if they did any federal races, actually.
I haven't looked into it.
I think it's just state level races. And that's why it's just the Attorney General and Wes Allen that are involved in this, but no response yet.
Yeah.
Now, they said they submitted it May 5th and they were giving them 10 days. Isn't that Friday? May 15th?
Yeah, tomorrow. So boil it down. What exactly is the crime that they're wanting to investigate?
Like they haven't shown where their money is coming from. And it's this whole shell game, which some of it isn't illegal. It's loopholes. They are extorting loopholes in the law, in election law and campaign law. And so, but they have missed filings. I think that's what Mo was saying. They have missed filings and that there are gaps in the transparency in letting the public know who is behind all the money. Exactly.
Right.
And it looks really shady. I won't say it is, but it definitely looks shady the way they're funneling the money through several different PACs. Whether it's illegal, I don't know, but it seems like this coalition is just asking for the Attorney General's office and the Secretary of State, look into it.
Yeah.
Whatever you find, you find. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's something. But the people of Alabama are concerned enough about this money that's coming into the state that they are saying we deserve answers and transparency in this and let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah.
I don't know what Steve Marshall and Wes Allen will do. I don't know why they haven't responded. It doesn't seem like there's been any correspondence. And Mo Brooks has been asking for this for a long time, way before May 5th.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to be able to not take this one on.
Right. For sure.
Maybe they're just trying to make it through May 19th because they're
just
both up for an election.
drag their feet.
And so they don't want to do anything before May 19th.
Well, what?
Because if they don't do anything, the coalitions are going to be mad. And if they do something, then the gambling people, maybe they don't want to upset the gambling people. I don't know.
Well, I'm going to make sure I'm correct before saying this. But what?
I just spilt my tea everywhere.
Oh, Allison.
Look, but it's my little astronaut. My friend got me this at the Artemis launch, but I don't think I can drink out of the helmet. I think I got to drink out the other side.
Now, didn't one of the people you just mentioned that are being asked to pursue this case receive money from American Conservative Fund?
I don't know who that would be.
Wes Allen.
Really?
Yeah. Let me look it up and I'm going to say
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, look that up because I don't know that.
Where can I even look that up?
On the places. It actually would be the Secretary of State's website. We can do that during the break. I also got to clean up this tea.
But anyways, so here's the thing, because it is unfortunate, even though it's kind of like gambling itself, even though we're anti-gambling, unabashedly anti-gambling, it is inherently a nuanced issue, whether you like it or not. And it's kind of like the same thing with super PAC funding, or just PAC funding in general, because you can take money from PACs and not do their bidding. I know this is sort of, and it's different from PAC to PAC, I guess. I've seen a lot of people say that when PACs give you money, that's them asking you for a favor without you even knowing it. But we know people in the State House who are taking money from certain PACs and they don't do what they say, and they keep getting money. And what was it, the quote one time, if I take their money and I don't do what they say?
Literally, this one legislator was standing there for the lobbyist.
Yeah.
Who gave them the money. And they said, I take their money and then I vote no to all their legislation right there in front of them.
Yeah.
So it can be done. It's rare.
It's rare.
But it can be done.
But that's the thing of, and yes, you can not take money from PACs. You can, but just inherently, taking money. And we've gotten bashed by some people who.
Hold on. You have to be very, very clear here, because people came after me on Facebook when I posted.
Right.
And I made a post about this.
And that's what I was referring to.
Yes. Okay. A campaign can take PAC money, in which case the campaign would know about that. But a PAC can also operate independently and do whatever they want on behalf or against a candidate without the candidate knowing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because people were like, don't tell me, Allison, that they didn't know they were taking that money. And I said, I actually didn't tell you that.
Yeah, no, I mean, they can send out mailers on their own, and paint you as the Godfather, and like they did with Garland Gudger.
Yeah.
And, so it is possible to take money from people and not do what they ask. Like you said, it's rare and it takes a certain individual. And you'd probably be correct to think that a lot of people fold after they get money from certain PACs and they're told what to do because they think they owe the PAC something because they paid them. Like that's a real thing. But that doesn't inherently mean that just because you receive money means you are beholden and you do their bidding. It all lies on the votes and how you actually, like, what you do after that. Now, if somebody is anti this, they get a PAC from a group and then all of a sudden they're pro, then yeah, that's a thing. That's a problem. But the main issue I have with, you have to sort of be mature enough in terms of how you look at politics, of separate the candidate from itself. Clearly the people who want to enact gambling in this state and are all like DraftKings and the others, clearly the ones who want it it's not even pro candidate. I mean, sometimes it can be because a candidate's pro gambling, but look who they're funding against. Look at, they don't want Mo Brooks to win. They don't want these other people to win. So in my view, it's almost a endorsement of, hey, clearly they're scared of this person. Clearly they're scared of the Mo Brookses. Clearly they're scared of the, so I almost separate, the people who receive the money. It's like, why are they afraid of these people, these candidates? So that's kind of how I view it mostly of, we can talk about the candidates and if they receive the money from gambling, if they're going to turn pro gambling or if they're inherently pro gambling, but the people who want to enact gambling are bankrolling to keep certain people in the state from winning. And I think that is what the story is. And obviously, if they violated laws and they didn't dot their I's, cross their T's, and were illegal, then they need to be held accountable for that. But it is a nuanced conversation of, you can take money without doing their bidding. But I think the main story is, why are they scared and bankrolling certain candidates from winning? I think that's the story.
And that's why in that video I did, and I think we've said it several times on the show, like, take the power out of the hands of this $26 million organization PAC that is just trying to beat you over the head and force you into a position. Go straight to your legislator. Ask them what their stances are on these issues. Go back and look at how they voted. Go back and look at what they say on the floor or to the media. Like, we can give these PACs as much power as we want to. Go around them. Get your legislator on record for their stance. Look at how they voted. If it's gambling, 2024, the most comprehensive gaming bill ever, most of them voted for it. There were several that didn't. Go look. That'll tell you. Now, caveat, every gambling bill is different. So just because they voted for it in 2024 doesn't mean they would vote for it again in 2026, 2027, 2028. But it does tell you their general feeling on gambling or possibly who they're working for. I just think this isn't going away. And I think that General Marshall and Wes Allen are going to have to respond at some point. Let me say too, because we will get in so much trouble, I do not know if Wes Allen has received money from the American Conservative Fund. JP, we're going to look at that because I really don't want to misrepresent that. But a lot of candidates have. And honestly, just because Wes Allen has a mailer that, if in theory, should I do this in the allegedly? In theory, if he has a mailer out there with his name on it and it says American Conservative Fund, that doesn't mean he supports the American Conservative Fund or gambling. He may not know anything about it. So even if he is on there, but just saying, it is confusing and you have to pay attention. Just like, actually, this is a great point. Steve Marshall put out an attack ad on Jared Hudson, just came out and started playing this past week. Okay, when I say that, the ad is purely from Steve Marshall's camp. Half of it is anti-Jared Hudson. Half of it is pro-Steve Marshall. When I say that and that there's an ad out there, who do you think did the ad, JP?
Sorry, say that again.
You weren't even listening.
I'm trying to pull up the American Conservative Fund.
Well, there's an attack ad
against Jared Hudson.
Against Jared Hudson that is pro Steve Marshall.
Yeah.
So what's your assumption?
That Steve Marshall ran that ad.
Okay, that is actually not correct. It is not from his campaign. Steve Marshall's campaign did not pay for that attack ad. It was from a PAC that clearly is supporting Steve Marshall, and they put together this ad that is anti-Jared Hudson. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So Steve actually had nothing to even do with it.
Yes. Yeah. So that's why you have to be so careful. I mean, I know people from the Marshall campaign that were like, what the heck? Why are you going, even they're pro Steve Marshall, but they're like, why are you attacking Jared Hudson? And they're like, that wasn't the campaign. Does that make sense? Yeah. So you have to be really careful and do your homework and read that little tiny box at the bottom that says paid for, or that little thing that rolls across the bottom of the commercial that says paid for by If it's paid for by a campaign or a committee from a campaign, it will say that. If it says blah, 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 PAC, go see who's running the PAC. You can go to fec.com or .gov and type in the PAC name, and it will tell you all the information about the PAC. Okay.
It's a good conversation. And we're going to do more research in the break.
Yeah, we'll have to find out about that. Do y'all?
Do we want to
do
hot
y'all?
flash news?
There's not a y'all, and I also don't have my glasses on my head. Let me see if I can find the flashing hot news.
Wait, I gotta pull up the flashing hot news sound effect before we do hot flash news.
Okay. I wish I could watch it.
Excuse me.
God love her. I might actually little bit miss her when she's gone.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. Just a little meemaw bit. Little high step a bit.
A little low step a bit.
Little stepper. Representative Terry Sewell put out 20 hours ago. This is a 5-alarm fire. Black political representation in America is under attack. Really?
That's not surprising.
So what? We're taking away your right to vote? No. We're taking, like, you can't come in the polling station anymore? No. What? Driver's license? Can't drive to vote? No. You can't be black and run for office? No.
It's just like when Hakeem Jeffries says that the ghost of the Confederacy is haunting the state or the nation through the Supreme Court. It's like this. It's all these people. It is race baiting.
Tired of it. This is wild. This is an Alabama story. If I've ever. All right. Actually, I take that back. This is a Tennessee story that happened in Texas. The Texas televangelist who claimed God is using the Iran war to begin the biblical apocalypse and rapture up all the Christians to heaven on Trump's birthday this June 14th because Trump is the second Messiah.
What?
Just got arrested for cooking meth in his church basement.
Okay, that tracks.
Choose one or the other.
Yeah.
Drugs are crazy. When you combine two, you lose some legitimacy. It's like Breaking Bad in the church basement. I guess June 14th is going to be here quickly, and we'll see. What if you get left behind? I'm gone. We don't, because Ab's is definitely going to heaven.
What? You think we're not? You think we're not going into heaven?
I don't know, but just like, what if one of us gets left behind? Did you ever watch those movies?
I've never watched.
Did you read the books?
No.
They were huge when I was in middle school.
No, I've never read them. I know the whole the spiel behind them, but I've never read them. Or watched them.
When the rapture occurs, these books tell you that like all of a sudden all these cars start wrecking and like everybody's gone and all these systems break down because everybody's raptured and it's just crazy.
Yeah, if we're left behind, then. Well, that's part of the, if there is a rapture, then whether you believe in the rapture or not, it doesn't matter. You'll be taken up. But imagine, yeah, that'd be scary.
How would we do the show? I'm glad I took a video of like if you go and I don't get to, took a video of how to push the buttons and do the show. Because you would definitely have to come and report if the rapture happened. You'd have to be like, y'all. Like Bubba Bussy, go find his ham because he's definitely going to heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd have to go find his ham radio, figure out how to communicate with the people. Be a whole thing.
Can you imagine you walk in before the show, like the rapture happens as you're driving to the studio and you come up and you just see like my t-shirt and jeans.
You think you go naked?
I mean, your clothes aren't going to heaven.
What?
Maybe you're
no,
soul.
You can't have a bunch of naked people floating in the sky.
Well, I don't think we'd be naked, but these clothes are getting left behind.
What? Really?
That's part of the
Do you
like.
get new clothes up there?
Yeah, I assume. There's not going to be secular clothes being worn in heaven. But can you imagine you walk in and like all the lights are on, everything's ready, but like just like my shirt and jeans, and I guess and I'm gone. Like I was taken up.
Does your beard stay?
No.
There's like just little beard hairs everywhere.
Like my necklace.
Your necklace.
and
Okay, so when we're gonna all work in heaven, we'll all have jobs. Because God intended us to have jobs. Even in the garden, they had jobs. What's your job gonna be?
That's a great question.
If you could choose, what would it be?
I'd like to do like mowing the grass in heaven. What?
That's like the lamest job I could think of.
Well, think of what job would you want to do?
I want to be a taste tester for food.
That's so specific.
Yeah, I want to be like I want to go around to all the different, because we're definitely having food in heaven.
Yeah.
Right?
There's a big feast in heaven.
Yeah. So I'm going to work in one of the restaurants and just stand there after the chef makes the perfect, it literally will be perfect. But it's just because it would bring people joy that God allows us to act like we're taste testing to make sure it's not perfect.
I think my job would actually be playing on the professional heaven football team.
What about MMA? Do you get
Or
to
that.
slap people in heaven?
That made me a little too barbaric for heaven's sake, but I would probably play football.
This is actually a great transition to did y'all see what Pope Leo, she's not here. Did you see what Pope Leo did?
No.
Pope Leo yesterday bestowed the Vatican's highest diplomatic honor upon the Islamic Republic's ambassadors, Ayatollah Mohammed Hossein Muqtari. The man is part of a regime that slaughtered 42,000 of its own people and imposes the death penalty on Muslims who convert to Christianity. What the hell, County?
I got nothing for that one.
I think, well, I won't say that. I'll get in so much trouble, which is scary because think about all the things I say on here that I don't say I'll get in trouble for. So that was going to be really bad. That was going to be really, really bad. I thought this was interesting. Governor Ivy, the high stepper herself, guess what? She is working hard in the middle of this redistricting, this issue in Iran, this gas tax, grocery tax, on the brink of a recession or something. Did you see about the housing market?
Yeah, I did.
Not good. Like, what? 1 million more homes or something than buy. I mean, it's not good. It's getting upside down. She was working hard yesterday. For the first time during Huntsville remarks, she announced that there will be a celebration marking the 250 years of America at the state capitol next Thursday. It'll be a massive flag unveiling, performance from the band, Alabama. The band, Alabama.
Yeah. The band Alabama.
That read kind of weird. And a flyover from the F-35 jets.
That's
She's
pretty
going to
sick.
party.
Should we go to Huntsville and party with the high stepper?
Well, that'll be next Thursday. I'll be out of town.
Oh yeah, you'll be
I'll be on the beach. Y'all could zoom me in if you go down there. Yeah. Okay, last thing. Did y'all see Governor Tate Reeves in Mississippi is canceling the special session in Mississippi? I just want to know who got to him.
I do too.
There must be some serious dirt on the Tater Tot Reeves. That's what people call him. I didn't know that.
Tater Tot Reeves.
On Tater. Tater Reeves. He is compromised. So
That's
lame.
not good.
John Wall's stuck in traffic. He may or may not be here. He may just zoom in. He may call in.
Yeah.
We'll see. It'll be a surprise when we come back.
Is that there's so many tools that the Attorney General has that if you don't care about getting the job right and you only care about chasing headlines, none of that stuff I mentioned, you wouldn't do it. You know, I mean, there wouldn't be any use for it if you're just there for the politics of it. And so something I'm passionate about, again, I think that goes back to my experience at API and just really understanding our state government and the areas where it could be improved. And, you know, I think with the next governor, that's certainly something I'd be able to offer. Like, hey, Governor Tuberville, you need to know I've been seeing these trends out of this agency and we're not going to be able to continue to defend this. Can you help me out? And that's how it ought to work.
That's great.
One of the things we saw during COVID was, and really actually past COVID, is DEI and SEL and all this critical race theory stuff has kind of trickled down into even rural Alabama, which people swore would never be there. But the federal government and schools, because we do take federal money, there are things that they push down that we have to follow. I'm thinking about all the Title IX, gender ideology, girls and boys and girls locker rooms and all that kind of stuff. What's your stance as if you were Attorney General of how do you protect the state and what the people of Alabama want?
Yeah.
And balance that with the federal government mandating these things happen?
Yeah, so not to nerd out on you, but like in 2016, I wrote this paper before I left API called Selling Our Sovereignty. And I laid out all the federal funding that Alabama receives, which is not inherently bad. But I said, what if some administration comes in that's hostile to our values and starts using that as a way to shove things on us that we would never vote for in the ballot box? Well, they did, you know, and Biden learned that very early on. I mean, we had a situation one day where our Department of Agriculture called and they were like, we're going to lose our free school lunch program if we don't do this gender language stuff in all of our documents. And I was like, whoa.
It was the bathrooms. You had to have,
They threatened it through our WIC program, Women, Infant, and Children's, you know, supplemental nutrition program. They wanted that to be genderless school lunches, you know, and then needless to say, public schools generally. So there's two ways you have to approach those things. On the one hand, you're running into federal court and you're suing and you're trying to get it stopped. And we do that and we do it well. But the backside of that is somebody's got to be communicating with state agencies to say, look, we can't let you violate state law, but we also know your federal funding is at risk. Let's work through this and navigate this together. And that's a big part of the role I played. It's like we're over here litigating, and yes, we want to win. But I mean, you know, I was writing legal memos all the time, trying to give these agency heads and their general counsels advice on, you know, not forfeiting the money because, I mean, the program is partially paid for by the federal government, but here's how you can maneuver, here's how you can navigate it, and then sort of policing to make sure that the stuff wasn't being pushed through anyway. Again, that's kind of the inside baseball part of it, but there's a lot of aspects to this stuff. You don't just file the lawsuit. There's a lot of work to do within state government, and goodness knows during COVID, I mean, I was putting out memos once a day saying, you can't do this, you can't do this. You've got to adhere to state law, and we will try to help you work through the threats coming from the federal government.
So is that what it means then, where sometimes people see the Attorney General's office as that last line of defense?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Attorney General got that tagline as the Republican AGs, not all of them. Some of them aren't a good line of defense at all nationally if they're Democrats, but they got that because it was during Obamacare. If you remember, the state sovereignty was really threatened over a provision of Obamacare that was going to like force states to do Medicaid expansion and some other things. And for once, the United States Supreme Court said, okay, states are independent and separate sovereigns. Like, we've got to acknowledge that. And so that kind of became the tagline. And what it means can be on the national front. It can also mean in the state, even though people don't think about it that way as much. But it's kind of like when all else fails, Congress doesn't get things done very quickly. The president gets stymied at every turn. Who do you look to that can be agile and quickly rush in, you know, to either promote something or defend something? And it really is the AGs usually working together, and it's pretty effective.
What do you think is the most significant legal threat facing Alabama in the years to come?
Not to beat a dead horse, but it's just a reclaiming of our state sovereignty. We really haven't made much progress. We've won some cases, so you solve the immediate issue, but large scale. Have you heard Congress having a debate lately about how to return power to the states? We are going to keep having the same problems over and over and over again every time there's a Democrat in the White House. Every time. Because they look at Alabama as a deep red state, but it's a poor state that's heavily reliant on federal funding for federal programs, and they're going to jerk us around every time. That is the biggest threat, because every other thing that we work on, every girl sport,
Welcome back to the Right Side. Amy Beth is not here. JP and I have made it almost a full show. We haven't been canceled yet, but I'm sure that will happen after I bring in our next guest, John Wahl. How are you?
Hold on. His camera is off.
Camera's off. Well, he was supposed to be in person. Traffic will get you. So John Wahl is running for lieutenant governor. One of those positions in Montgomery, in really any state, that a lot of people don't understand. They think, okay, you're the next governor if something happens. But it's so much more. Do we have him? Is he good?
Yeah.
I keep wanting to say Chairman Wahl, but that's not it anymore. John Wahl, thanks for joining us. How are you?
No, it's good to be on the show. I cannot believe that I am literally like 10 minutes from you and just couldn't make it by 11:45. So I don't know. We're continuing to drive. Who knows? I might see you by the very end of the show, but we'll get started here. How's that?
Well, go somewhere way more fun than here. If you're, don't keep coming down here. Go. Let's see. Pamela Casey did her interview from Huddle House yesterday. Maybe go to a Huddle House.
But look, I'm afraid until May 19th and very likely June 16th, I won't have a life. I will be going to things like this. But that's all right, because I love it. It's for me, it's talking about the values I believe in, about freedom, about liberty, and explaining what are the vision of our founding fathers, what America should be, what we can be, and what Alabama can be. And for me, it's always exciting to get a chance to talk about what I believe in, why I believe the principles of, conservatism and free markets and faith still are the messages that will make America and Alabama better.
So I'm so curious. This is the first time you've kind of been on this side of the political world. You were chairman of the Alabama Republican Party, and you've kind of been on, but now to be a candidate, to be on the road, you're running for a statewide race. Has what you've heard from voters over the past few months, has that changed your priorities for Montgomery and for the lieutenant governor's office? Or are you still hearing kind of the same things?
I mean, look, great question. And I think no. But I say that because as chairman of the Alabama Republican Party, I kind of was in that, not a candidate, but in the trenches, right? I'm kind of on the front lines as we fought for better policies. As we opposed the crazy woke agenda of the left. And so I don't know. I come at this from, saying I don't want to be a career politician. I don't want to, as the next lieutenant governor, I don't want to be the politician. I want to remain the conservative outsider. I want to remain, the state party chairman type role of fighting for our rights and freedoms, of standing for the principles that the Republican Party stands for the platform, for the people of this state. And so kind of keep the conservative outsider role, even though I'm running for a public position. So, I think my time as party chairman served me well. It gives me some experience, lets me know what's going on in the political circles. But at the same time, look, I'm a farm boy. I am not a career politician. I don't want to be, and I want to fight for the people of this state, and I want to keep that service outsider focus for myself and my campaign.
Well, people will say, I mean, you're an insider outsider, and it's weird. And one of the criticisms, like with the Trump endorsement, people are like, he's using his position to get the Trump endorsement. I'm like, well, no, he just interacts with the president and DC quite a bit. And so you received the Trump endorsement, which was a big moment, actually kind of before you even announced you were running. And so clearly he has faith in you that you could do the job well. One of the things that you have talked about also is education. You were pivotal with the library board and your position there and getting, this is wrong. I always call it kiddie porn. That is not the right word for it.
No, let's not call it that. That's right.
Talk about getting canceled. It probably just happened. But really the terrible, terrible books that were in our children's section. You were pivotal in that. But from the education side, bigger picture, what would be, because that's so important to me. It's really how I got started in politics in Alabama again. What do you want to do with the education system in Alabama?
No, look, great question. And I'm look, there are thousands of people in your same position who got involved in politics or in civic involvement because of education. I mean, look, we are letting our children down. There's no question about it, whether it's academically, but more importantly, morally. We have got to get the nonsense, the woke nonsense out of our classroom and go back to the basics: reading, writing, arithmetic, history, civics. And it's time that we return control to the parents where it belonged. Look, you know what your children, what's better for them than the unelected bureaucrats in Washington and in Montgomery. And we've got to return the focus back to parents, back to Alabama families, and away from these political agendas. And that's probably the greatest battle we are in as a society right now. I tell people all the time, yes, I'm running for lieutenant governor. I'm running for a political position. But when you say, okay, who is John Wahl? Are you a politician? How do you identify yourself? And I say, no, I want to be a conservative reformer. I want John Wahl to be the candidate who's talking about faith. He's talking about the fact that we should not have taken God out of our classrooms. We should not have taken God out of our government, our society. Like, it's time to return back to the basics, back to the old paths, if you will, and really return focus to the conservative principles that we know work. The crazy thing about this is the left always go off in this tangent. They always go off, talking about, this issue or that issue. We have the recipe for success. We know what works. It's the free market. It's family, it's faith, it's the American principles, it's the American dream that made this country so great. So education, probably the greatest battle that we're in right now. Making sure that we safeguard our children, that we're protecting them from the assault from the left, from the woke policies, and from indoctrination. And so this is one of my greatest hearts on this campaign, is talking to parents, as I listen to parents and then talking to parents about what we can do to improve our education system, number one. And you talked a little bit about Donald Trump. Look, I'm obviously very proud to have his endorsement. It's a big deal in Alabama. But for me, it's not that I agree with Donald Trump in any area. No one does. It's the fact that I know that he's fighting for the future of this country. And he's working hard to try to drain the swamp in Washington, D.C., and return control and power back to the people. And I think we need elected officials on the state level who will do that same thing, who are not going to be afraid to challenge the status quo, to get in there and to make a difference and to put people first. At the end of the day, that's what America first should be about. That's what Alabama first should be about. It should be about putting the people of our country, the people of our state first, and not government bureaucrats, not special interest, but the people.
So I want to go back talking about education, because I was thinking, we've seen in the news recently, Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth has made an appointment to the Charter Schools Commission. One of the most important jobs that people don't even know that the Lieutenant Governor is part of is making appointments to 400. I don't know. It's crazy. These different commissions.
Over 400 boards and agencies, or over 400 positions to over 160 different boards and agencies. So yes, and I always talk about that. If you really want to drain the swamp, if you really want to return control to the people and away from the unelected bureaucrats, these 400 and some positions are a very important part of that process.
So, and people kind of tune out, myself included. We're like, governmental agencies, commissions, blah, 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 blah. But they are so important, like the Charter School Commission, in which he just appointed Terry Lathan. It's also the Charter School Commission that approved the Magic City Acceptance Academy and which is just bizarre to me that taxpayers are funding that. So I'm curious if you will make a pledge to only appoint conservatives that have your values and our values, the people of Alabama, to these commissions. So often we see, a friend of a friend, or I owe this guy a favor, so I'll put his daughter there, I'll do whatever. Can you tell the people of Alabama that that will be a goal of yours?
Easiest pledge ever. 100%. This is one of my strengths. As a former state party chairman, I know who the conservative activists are out there. I know the people who really care about the Constitution, who really care about freedom and returning control to the people, and then who's not the best actors. And so I consider this one of my strengths. It's one of my top priorities. We can and we will have better government. And it starts with appointing people who actually care about the state, who actually care about the people of the state, and putting the best policies forward. So easy pledge. I wholeheartedly pledge to appoint only true and strong conservatives who are going to fight for the future of this country and put the people of this state first.
Okay. We've got that on video now. JP, can you clip that out?
Clipped.
Real quickly, something that has been in the news is the grocery tax and maybe a grocery tax holiday and making that permanent income tax. Comments on that, and then I want to get your thoughts on redistricting as well.
Oh yeah. Well, look, first of all, with the tax situation, the people of this state are struggling to make ends meet, to put food on the table. And I think it is so important that the state tighten their belt as well. Look, there is no reason that this grocery tax holiday should be a holiday. Let's make it permanent. I did a press release on this last week. I talked about this. This is something government can do to help the average everyday working family, the elderly on fixed incomes, and the people across the state who are struggling to put food on the table. So no brainer for me. Let's make the grocery tax holiday. Let's make it permanent. Let's eliminate the grocery tax for good. On the state income tax, look, I've been a very strong supporter of limiting the state income tax. We've got to start phasing it out. Other states have already started. Mississippi has started their process. Georgia has started. Florida already does not have a state income tax. Tennessee doesn't have a state income tax. If we don't get started, we're going to be left at an economic disadvantage compared to other states. I think, I want to see Alabama leading the nation when it comes to conservative principles, when it comes to attracting good paying jobs, when it comes to fighting for people's rights and freedoms. A big part of this is starting to phase out that state income tax so we can remain competitive on the national level.
Yeah. Redistricting. JP, how much time do we have?
About 2 minutes.
Oh, shoot. Okay. I want to get your thoughts. And then can we play Would You Rather with John Wahl? Okay.
Well, here's the crazy thing. I'm literally in your parking lot now, but we're not going to go. I'm not going to walk in. I'm going to sit here and we're going to answer questions. We're finishing this off.
I'll come down and high five you, and then you can go to Huddle House. That's really sad. It's unfortunate. But you have been very outspoken about a 7-0 map and the legislature going hard towards getting that. What are your thoughts now? Do you think there's any chance of another special session? Is DC just happy with 6-1? Like what are you hearing?
Well, look, I think this issue is far bigger than Alabama. This goes across the South, Louisiana, South Carolina. And I think Republicans have got to draw a line in the sand. We did not fight for years for fair districting just to turn this over to the Democrats. This is about the future of our country, and we cannot compromise. We cannot back down. We know, look, as chairman of the state Republican Party, I was involved in multiple, Supreme Court briefs where we argued why we deserved the chance to do the same thing the Democrat states do with redistricting. And I hate to see any compromise now, because this is the battleground. This is where we are. This is what we are facing as a nation. This is probably the most important fight that these southern states can be involved in. So I'm a very strong supporter. As soon as possible, we need to draw our map 7-0. And I appreciate the legislature moving quickly for 6-1, but that is not the end of the fight. And whether that happens this year or whether it happens next year, I am going to be actively involved in pushing 7-0. We are a super Republican state. Let's have representation in Washington that represents the people of Alabama.
Yeah, I go back to, this is literally probably saving the republic / whether Donald Trump gets impeached or not. And probably not just impeachment, but actually.
Look, and everything else that comes with it.
Yeah.
This is about higher taxes, more regulations, less common sense. This is the battle for the heart and the soul of the country. And right now that battle is with congressional redistricting, and we're at the front lines.
Okay, we end every show with a little thing we call Would You Rather? So JP is going to ask, and you have to choose.
Well, I was going to say I would rather be in studio than in a car.
You just stay there in the parking lot, but we got a question.
Okay, here's a funny one. Would you rather be followed everywhere by a mariachi band or a mime?
A mime, at least you're quiet. I mean, that's I can do that one.
That's funny. I might go mariachi
I
band.
might go mariachi. That'd be fun.
Yeah, because I mean, hello. You're here.
You would always be the most interesting character in the room either way. So I don't know. I don't know. You can go wrong here. I'll tell you what. Here's my response is both. I'll take both.
A mariachi playing band mime, a mime that has, what are they called? Caracas?
Yeah.
Maracas.
Maracas.
Caracas is a place. All right, what's next?
Okay, I would do one more. Would you rather wear your clothes inside out or backwards for the rest of your life?
Oh, inside out. At least then they fit right. I'm a man. It's about comfort.
What, you remember the band or the two? Do you, John Wahl? You'll remember Criss Cross. Do you remember? No, you didn't.
I don't.
JP, I knew you wouldn't. John wouldn't.
Don't think I do.
You didn't grow up in East Tennessee. The band, they actually, it's funny you're talking about band. They actually wore their clothes backwards. And it looked awful. And they would do all their music videos in backwards clothes. And you're like, that's got to be miserable.
Yeah.
Got to be miserable.
I'm going for inside out, 100%.
Yeah, inside out.
Do we have music?
No, we had to push it too far.
Oh, I was waiting on the music.
No,
okay. No. John Wahl, thanks so much for joining us. I'm going to come downstairs and say hello, and then y'all go to lunch.
And then we'll head out. And look, I'm making another commitment on the show right here. I support continuing the fight to widen Interstate 65 so I don't get, so I'm not running late next time that I'm on Rightside Radio.
Well, then you can carry on Will Ainsworth's little beat the drum for Will, widen 65 when you are in Lieutenant Governor's office. Good luck.
Let's get it done
on Tuesday. And I'm sure we'll talk soon. Thanks so much.
Good to be on the show.
Okay. Sorry, I was waiting for the...
I had to push the music.
You had to push the music?
Yep.
Well, y'all, tomorrow we'll be back without Abs again. We've got the Bussy Brief. And I don't know. We also have Catherine Robertson on tomorrow at 11. She'll be in studio unless you get stuck on 65. And it'll be a great day, JP. We can do it.
Yes, do it.
Okay. Y'all make good choices tonight and stay on the right side. Toodles.